And this is as far as a crucial hearing that is on in the Supreme Court over the Panchayat polls in the state of Bengal. The Supreme Court and the State Election Commission plea has gone on to say that they should not have any grievance with High Court directly deployment of central forces in every district, as it would ensure free and fair elections are conducted in non-sensitive areas as well. So looks like this could be seen as a setback as far as the State Election Commission is concerned. Our legal correspondent Ananya Bhatnagar now joining us on the broadcast. Ananya, time and again, the larger question that has been raised is, why is there a larger pattern of violence every time there's an election in the state of West Bengal? Is that now being seen as a license for violence to take place? What are we hearing from the top court?
Well, in fact, the Supreme Court too has said and made this particular observation that, holding elections cannot be a license to violence, is what the Supreme Court also said. And it, in fact, questioned the State Election Commission as to why is it actually challenging this particular order of the Calcutta High Court, which is acting actually in aid of the State Election Commission, because the deployment of central forces in the state would actually help the State Election Commission to conduct a free and fair probe into this particular matter. So definitely, in fact, senior advocate Harish Salve actually appearing for, in fact, the BJP leader Suvendu Adhikari has given out certain scathing, arguments on behalf of Mr. Adhikari, clearly saying that, if the West Bengal government thinks that the central forces is an invading army, that mindset cannot be brought to the Supreme Court. So basically, what Mr. Salve was actually pointing out was that the whole grievance of the state of West Bengal is that they do not want the central forces to be deployed because they would not be under their control, is what the state government believes. And that's the reason why, in fact, the State Election Commission and also the state of West Bengal have come before, in fact, the Supreme Court challenging this particular order. Now, at this point of time, the court is dictating its order and recording submission. So, where will this all be ending up is something that we get to see in a very, very short while from now, when the Supreme Court would be passing on its direction, whether it would set up this particular order, the High Court, the court, something. That is a matter of time. We'll get to know in next few minutes.
So as Ananya is pointing out, matter of minutes, because the court in fact is recording its submission. But in the meantime, Ananya, we'll request you to stay on with us. Let's also bring in our colleague Kamalika Sengupta also now joining us. Kamalika, what we're hearing from the Supreme Court till now is they don't see an issue as far as the High Court order is concerned. They're saying deployment of central forces, in fact, will ensure that elections are free and fair and peace will prevail. Are we getting any reaction so far from the state government?
State Election Commission and state government still now holding on to what the order comes, and that's why till yesterday, though they are preparing for the sensitive votes and all, but did not adhere to the order that was passed by the Calcutta High Court. So they were actually hoping that there will be some respite from the Supreme Court. But till now, the state government, the State Election Commission, there has been no reaction from them. They were also, hearing the court proceedings minute by minute, and the observations that has come up from the court, that's coming up from the Supreme Court, that is not very much in favor of the State Election Commission, and that's what apparently it seems. But obviously, the order will have to really wait for the order. So, and the states challenged the Calcutta High Court's order. Now the matter is in Supreme Court. Now, if here also the order goes against the State Election Commission, then actually they will have to forces. Now there are technical and political issues to it. Politically, TMC as a party, they are not in favor of central force, because in 2021 there was this incident in Coach Bihar that the central force fired on the voters, and that was a CID investigation is still on that case, and that's a big thing which is going on. So they are of the opinion that central forces are actually the central forces, they behave very badly, and all these things are there. Off the record political circle, these discussions happen, and these central forces works on behalf of the central government or party. That's what their off the record versions are.
Okay.
But technically, they were showing that since it's not the State Election Commission who will be who will actually call in the state central force, number one. Number two, that there are certain booths which are sensitive. So it's not possible that every district will have these forces. And also the fact that they have already asked forces from the other states, therefore there is no requirement of central force. So all this logic that has been put forward in the court, that's the technical and the civil logic.
Okay.
Put forward by State Election Commission and also the state government.
Okay, Kamalka, we'll just request you to stay on with us because I believe we're now getting details as far as the order is concerned. Ananya, what are the details that you're picking up?
Well, the court is still recording the submissions of all these parties, and I'll read down a certain portion. These submissions that has been taken on record by the Supreme Court is that the SLPs are against the HC's order June 15. We've heard the councils and perused the material on record. Council for the State Election Commission and the West Bengal drew our attention to the observations of the High Court in para 16 and 17. It is also noted that prior to the issuance of directions, there were other orders passed prior to the set date. However, it has also been recorded by the Supreme Court in its order that, the directions for requisition of is wholly unwarranted, is what the State Election Commission says. However, on the other hand, Mr. Salve, who is appearing for, in fact, the respondent, Suvendu Adhikari, has clearly supported the High Court's order and said the SC has not issued this for the first time.
I apologize for interrupting the impact.